She hadn't even planned on stopping at CVS on her way home, but Katrina was desperate and now it was a thing. But based on how the pharmacy was going, dinner would be drive-through Panera. Relatively healthy and minimal peopling. If the car found its way into the drive-through at Taco Bell, she wouldn't be mad about it. "Sorry, here, let me." A gravelly voice that sent tingles all the way to her toes instantly cured her brewing concussion. A firm grip banded around her bicep, helping her straighten up. All the oxygen evaporated from her body. Elliott. His name caught in her throat, croaking like it had been trapped there for decades. It kind of had. The boy she'd once loved was all man now. Squared jaw covered with a neat, dark salt and pepper beard that her fingers itched to reach out and stroke. Small crow's feet crinkling the corners of his eyes. Brown, wavy hair, still styled with gel but with a dusting of gray at the temples. He'd aged well. Too well. Clare knew those hazel eyes. She'd stared into them while she'd pressed a sweater against his face after he'd taken a stray puck to the eyebrow in a game of street hockey when he was a kid. She'd stared at them over numerous games of cribbage in her backyard. It had taken her a while to get used to the card game with the little peg stand, but once she'd mastered counting points in combinations of 15s, it was on like Donkey Kong. She'd pleaded with them when he'd told her he was going to be leaving and pursuing his dreams. Those hazel eyes were burned into her memory forever. She'd heard he was coaching the local college hockey team. Sure, he had a little squish around his middle underneath his solid black t-shirt, probably from moving into coaching rather than still playing. But he was still every bit Elliott. Her Elliott. She swallowed down the bitter taste in her mouth. He wasn't hers anymore. Perhaps he never had been. He'd done good things with the team. Great, in fact. If she wasn't still pissed at him, she'd be proud of him. Her heart twisted. She was always proud of him. She smoothed her hand over her not-been-washed-in-a-week hair, face aflame, and gave an awkward laugh. Elliott. Why did her voice sound so weird? His eyebrows were arched high. His jaw hung open. The golden brown circle around the pupil in his left eye caught the light as his gaze bore into hers, as though searching for something. Mute. Silently urging him to speak, she slid her damp palms over the thighs of her yoga pants. Had she let herself go so much that he didn't even recognize her? Or was he simply stunned at the fact she was wearing yesterday's feminist AF shirt? Okay, so her toothpaste had splattered on it a bit, but it kind of looked like it was supposed to be that way, so she'd just gone with it. Another tuck of her hair behind her ear. Another awkward giggle. Okay. She gestured at the boxes and packets on the ground and crouched to pick them up, careful to avoid another collision against, well, any part of him. As though her bending snapped him out of whatever daze he was in, he squatted in front of her, scrambling to pick up the boxes. Definitely karma. His thighs filled out his jeans like he'd been poured into the denim. Was it weird to want to bite someone's thigh? She wasn't sure she cared. His eyes were still on her when they stood again. He offered her the heavy flow and overnight pads with a raised eyebrow. His lips twitched like he fought a smile. Her face was on fire. No, she wasn't lucky enough to be on fire, but the heat of her cheeks could most definitely have started one. Therefore, my daughter. Fan-fucking-tastic. Now he probably thought her daughter was having some kind of severe period emergency that required almost 40 pads and the same number of tampons. Closing her eyes for a beat, Clare sucked in an audible breath through her nose. Maybe if she didn't meet his confused, amused, and bottomless gaze, she'd be able to jumpstart her brain with the heat radiating from the rest of her body. If only wishing made it so. When she opened her eyes, he was still there, head canted, smile teasing at the corners of his lips. She pinned her stare to the center of